Okay, just another quick video before my phone dies. Took me quite a while topping up the gearbox oil. It was stalling in gear. So you can see where the reservoir is now. So you can see sort of, it's hard to see, but there's sort of a cutout in the middle of that bracket and a cutout at the bottom. Now it's sitting way above, about 10 mil above the middle cutout now. But when it was running before, it was below the pipe. It was right at the bottom, which I assume it might need to be, but you couldn't tell whether it needed to suck more fluid. So I've topped it up and topped it up. So now when it's running, it's basically just above, in between that bottom cutout, sort of there, and the top cutout. So I don't know whether that's a minimum or maximum. I'm assuming it probably is. Whether that's a minimum and that's a minimum and that's a maximum. But it's sitting sort of there where my light's pointing in the middle now when it's running, which is above that pipe. So if it needed any more oil, it would take it. And when you look at where that is, that's probably just the top of the sump, which is probably about right, because above there's all the mechanism, etc. and whatever. And the sucking part of it is at the bottom. So yeah, just a quick video of that. It took a long time to get it right, and I did it by running it on the lift, turning it off, running it on the lift and turning it off. And it kind of didn't really work, because every time I drove it, it just zapped all the fuel, the stuff, and then didn't come back. And then I sort of topped it up, and it kept doing it. And so I've got it to the point now where when it stops, yes, it does. It fills up to there, but it was doing that before. But I've put more oil in since, so it must sit somewhere. Must do. Must bleed itself. But I have put the rad on as well. Yeah, as it is now, when it's running, like I say, it's at the top of that sort of collar where the pipe is. It's sort of just at the top of there. So I know that if it wants more oil, it can get it, because there is a bit more oil left in that, which I believe everybody says it should be between minimum. I'm thinking that's minimum and that's maximum. And so it's in the middle there. It could be, it should be there, but I don't see as it seems to work fine and go in all the gears right, and I don't want to put too much in it. But it's a nightmare. I can't find any pictures. I can find people talking about it. Can't find any pictures about which is the minimum, which is the maximum. If anybody's got any definitive answer to which mark on that is a minimum, maximum, where it should be when it's hot and whatever, that'd be much appreciated, because I've Googled as much as I can. I can't find nothing. It always talks about the later one where they have the plastic reservoir and it's got minimum, maximum on it. This has got sort of higher up, because the bracket's a bit bent, higher up on there, it's got a minimum and maximum there, like 2 marks. So I'm thinking that might be the minimum and maximum that it should be when it's cold. And it is just above there when it's cold, and when it's running, like I say, it's below the minimum, but it's above that pipe. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I might, when I can get it on the lift next, I might have it on the lift when it's warmed up and run it and see where it's sitting. And it may be that it's meant to be in between that minimum one and the maximum one that's on the plastic bottle. But if anybody knows, tell me. But at the moment it's working. I don't think it's not got enough oil in. It took about 7 and a bit, 7 or 8 litres, something like that, something stupid like that. But it does seem to go in the gears. It seems to change okay. The kick down doesn't seem to work at the moment, but I can't really test that on my little sort of where I work. It's quite a short road. It doesn't seem to want to kick down yet, but it could be the cable needs adjusting, could be the switch at the back or whatever, but I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah, right, I'll go home now, but just thought I'd share that about the thing. But if anybody does know a definitive answer about that auto gearbox, so this is an 81 car, so it's the earlier type. I think 83 is when they stopped that and they went to the plastic container one, which is a bit more easy to see. There's you can obviously see the minimum maximum on it. If it is that sort of them 2 little arrows I can see in the middle of the bottle, then I probably need to put a bit more in, but I need to warm it up a bit better. I don't want to put too much in, so I think once I'm driving it a bit, I can drive it a bit and then come back and whop it on the lift and then check it then when it's nice and hot and make sure it's within where it should be. because apparently it changes when it's hotter. It was pretty hot when I checked it, so I think it's probably okay, but it may just be that I need to put a little bit more in. But I thought I'd share that. But some of the stuff on this is quite easy, but some stuff is really, you struggle finding answers. Everybody's got their own little ideas, and normally what I do is Google lots of stuff and go with the most common answer, but sometimes it's pretty even. Same with the vacuum pipes. No end of diagrams I find tell me it goes the other way around, but it can't do. Whether it's the year of my car or whether this is an 83, I believe this is an 83 engine, I'm pretty sure it is, but I think it's got 81 bits on, but I don't think all the bits are 81, some of the bits are 83, which I think is where the confusion is lying. But yeah, things like the vacuum pipes are tripping me up a little bit, but I think with the air filters on and the pipes on, it might run a little bit better as well, because it's got a bit more control there. I've got to put my breather on here, and I'm going to put my catch can sort of down there, I think, just sitting in that space there. There's like a little bracket onto the water bottle bracket, probably there's a little bracket there, put it on there, and then the pipe coming up and go into the air filter. I think that's the idea. I think that's the only place I can kind of fit it. There's a bit of a gap there where there's nothing there. Yeah, that's like a plug or something, isn't it? What is that? Oh, is that for plug in like a temperature sensor or something for the aircon? Oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, it's just a connector, isn't it? Yeah. But hopefully my catch can, or maybe a bracket between there and there, can sit there. Be a bit of a bugger to drain it, but it's not too bad. It's kind of out the way a bit there. And then it would be kind of, run the pipe sort of level, and then it will kind of come up a bit to there. So it's, nothing's really coming out there. A bit of chuffing coming out there, a little bit, but nothing horrendous, which I think is quite common with these. But before it was spraying so much oil out there, it was ridiculous. It's not doing that now. So yeah, I'd like to be driving it at the weekend, but it depends on that fan switch. I don't want to drive it till I know. If it's staying at 3/4 on the gauge, then I'll drive it and I'll think we're okay. If it keeps going to maximum, I daren't drive it without, I might end up having to put an aftermarket temperature gauge on, so I might even just fix it to the rad or something. It's not exactly the same, but it'll give you a decent idea. Can't see as I can put one in the water pipe or the rad anywhere. Potentially I could possibly put one in there. If I put a T-piece in there, and let the pipe coming one way and the temperature sensor there, and run that to the gauge. Maybe I could do that. There's no spare outlets on it. I think there's a drain at the bottom. So maybe if I got some at the right thread, I could put one in the bottom for the aftermarket temperature gauge. But hopefully I won't need it. I think the gauge is working fairly accurately. But you can tell when it's getting hot because the engine smokes a little bit, sort of off the surface. You can tell it's getting a bit hotter than I think it should. But I don't think it's anything wrong with the engine, hopefully. I don't think so. The oil's a nice colour, the water's nice, it's not pressurising, it's not smoking or anything now. It's pretty good now. It chuffs a little bit sometimes if you really boot it, or when it first starts up, when it's warming up, it chuffs a little bit. But once it's warmed up, the smoke's pretty much gone now. So I'll stop waffling on, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to driving it a bit more and then get an idea of what it should go like. I'm pretty sure it's not going as it should. I think it should have a bit more power than it has. Like I say, that could be the timing, could be the mixture. If it's too rich, it will bog down a little bit. I don't feel bad, but then again, I'm just putting it in drive. I don't know whether when people show it going fast, you sort of putting it in, holding it in first gear, whether that's lower than the drive gear, first gear in the drive gear. I don't know. I'm not familiar with these. Right, see you next time.